Parliament.
March to Parliament.
March to Parliament.
March to Parliament.
March to Parliament.
Say not corruption.
Say not corruption.
Say not corruption.
Say not corruption.
So Uganda
may go the body. We lay our future in Nigeria.
Shut up, you. Shut up. Me, I cannot tolerate anybody under me. Once I detect that, out, you go. Because if I tolerate you, I am endangering the system.
Don't trust Museveni. Apart from the allegation that he's your father, you don't know Museveni.
Don't think you're gonna come and sell our resources again for cheap, for us to sit down and welcome you the next 4 years. It's not gonna happen. The people are awake. A huge change is about to come, people. So African politicians, if you think you have power, I am telling you, if 10 million people come together, it's over for you, okay? We are going to get in contact with the military, and we are going to beg the military to stand behind us because we need them. The militaries also need a change. They need to protect a government that is for the people, not a government that is against the people. African people, we do not want to be divided again. We believe in brotherhood and sisterhood, and we will stand for what is right. We do not care about money anymore. We will not accept any bribe from anyone to honor life for our people, to sabotage our people. We will not do that because we have realized that money is not everything. We have realized that you people are taking advantage of us. You do not care about us. You take your girlfriends to Dubai, to all these amazing places. You enjoy yourself. You see your people struggling on the street, sleeping on the street, cleaning the street, working 24/7. And you know that they are suffering, but you don't even help them. Are you not ashamed, African leaders? Where is your heart? Where is the heart that God gave you? Do you have one, African leaders? The corruption is too much, please. Stop selling our resources so cheap. God gave us those resources for a reason. Africa is not a poor continent. The people are poor. The people are poor because of you, African leaders. Because you think about your pocket. And African people, please listen to me. I hope this message gets to you. Please do not vote for any presidential candidate who come and talk rubbish and tell you that he's going to build road. I'm sorry, building road is a normal thing to do as a leader. We need a government that stands with the people, a government that cares for the country, a government that wants to see its people do well. We need a government that has the same common interest as us. Enough is enough. The embarrassment is enough. The racism is enough. The discrimination is enough. The tribalism is enough. We, the people, have decided to put our interests on the side. We have decided to put all this tribalism, religion, and all that aside. We have decided to respect each other's religion and respect each other's culture and come together with the same common interest to make Africa great. And if you, an African leader, if you don't have that interest with us, we will not vote for you. So don't you think in your skull that you're going to come and tell us you're going to build water, electricity, and all those nonsense for us to cast our vote for you. That is not going to happen. And to the old government, the old leaders, please retire and go and enjoy somewhere with your wives. We want young leaders. We do not want any old man from the age of 70 to 90 to come in power. Please take a break. Go to Maldives or something. Go to Seychelles and have a break, for Christ's sake. African people, vote for someone who can help us. Someone who can take full control of the country. Someone who do not need any foreigners to support him. Someone who knows what he's doing. Someone who is fearless. Someone who is bold. Someone who is passionate. Someone who cares. Because it's 2024 and you and I are still suffering. It's 2024 and we are still divided. It's 2024 and all our people all over the world are struggling. So if we don't come together to do what is right, then what is the point to complain about racism? What is the point to complain about discrimination? What is the point to complain about corruption? It is not the government to do anything for us. It's us, the people, that need to stand up against these corrupt leaders and march on the street for them to know that, hey, we are united and you cannot break us. Guys, if you take a stick and you can easily break it, but if you put 20, 30 sticks together, you can never break it. It will be difficult. This is the thing I'm saying about unity. This is my point, people. If we unite, I'm not asking you to come and love me and say hello to me every day. But if we can have the same common interest to make our nation great, I think that we will be on the right path to a good future, to a bright future for our next generation to come and live like kings and queens that we are. And not to suffer like slaves, because that's what we still are. I'm sorry, but if you have gold and diamond on your land and you need somebody to come and take your gold and diamond and give you, the owner, 10% and they take 90%, are you still not a slave? You are, because you do not know the value of your resources. You do not know. African leaders, enough is enough. Congo, we are coming for you, Congo. Hold on tight. The people are going to march for you. The people are going to scream for you. The people are going to fight for you. And whichever country you are that is struggling, we are coming to be behind you, my sisters and brothers. That is how it should be. And if you are against this message, it means that you are not for unity and we don't need you around. If you think that you know that you are African, but you say you are not African, we don't need you around, sis. We're not going to force anybody to be with us. We're going to call the people that has same common interests as us. You understand? That is what is going to happen now. So Congo, hold on tight. We're not going to sit down for our people to go down. That is impossible. Anywhere that is suffering, any country that is suffering, that has our people there, we are going to support our people. And if you love the message that I'm putting out, please, 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 please use your platform to continue that same message so that it can reach many people. Stop complaining, African people. Stop pointing fingers at the white man. The white man also wants profit. He's not going to come and take your oil and your gold out of the ground for free. They also need their money. So if you want to make money, you need to build your own refineries. You need to build your own infrastructures. Okay? Thank you. It is time, people. Some of us are frustrated and we are tired. Enough is enough. And anybody who has something to say against what I'm saying, shut up.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In case you are new, kindly remember to subscribe. So guys, today what Kenya it has been doing, it has also spread in all East African country. But today I'm going to talk about Uganda, because right now Ugandans, they are on the street. They are now marching in the parliament, in their parliament, so that they can remove the bad leaders, the leaders who are involved in corruption.
March to Parliament!
March to Parliament!
March to Parliament!
March to Parliament!
Say not corruption!
Say not corruption!
Say not corruption!
Say not corruption!
And also all this started by Kenya protesting against their government, protesting against the government oppressing the people, against the government introducing more tax to the people. And all this, it has spread to some of the African country. Right now, I can tell you that Nigerians, they are planning for a 10-day protest in their country. And also Gambia, they have planned a protest in their country also. But we can see in Uganda right now, they are on the street marching, going to their parliament to remove the bad leader. So,
Arrest the corrupt officials in parliament, in all government institutions. Arrest all of them. We are tired of corruption. Stop the corruption. We are peaceful. We are not fighting. We are just fighting corruption.
Officer,
stop the corruption. You are supposed to arrest corrupt officials.
Who was stealing your money?
You are protecting this. You are protecting the corrupt officials. We are tired of them. Arrest the corrupt people. We are tired of corruption. Arrest the corrupt people. We are tired. We are peaceful. We are not fighting anyone. We are fighting corruption.
Your name.
Corruption.
Your name. Your name. Your name. Corruption. Your name. Corruption. Tell us your name. Officers. Your name. Your name. Your name. Your name.
In Uganda, we have their president is called Museveni. So Museveni, you know, Museveni, he has impacted the fear to the Ugandans, because if you were being found, if some of the politicians who are going against the Museveni, he immediately take them down, immediately send the police to cut you, to bring fear, a lot of fear to you, so that you cannot go. And this is how Museveni, he has impacted the fear to the Ugandan. And that's why it has taken so long for Ugandans to come out and protest against the bad leader, against the corruption in their country, because of how their president, he has oppressed them so that they cannot do anything.
Me, I cannot tolerate anybody under me. Once I detect that, out, you go. Because if I tolerate you, I am endangering the system.
The president is always using the force, the police force, so that the Ugandans cannot do anything. But I'm so happy and I'm so proud that revolution, it is now starting in Africa. The revolution, it has already started in some of the African country. I'm so proud of my Ugandan people, because I knew that you guys won't take a step of protesting, but seeing you on the street fighting for your right, I'm very happy, so that we can push this corruption in some of the African country. We can remove these leaders who they were taking advantage of us young people of our nations, who the leaders who they were becoming a puppet from outside. The leaders, they were taking out our lands. The leaders were selling out our minerals. They were selling out our oil in Africa. They were selling out our gold to this foreign country. But right now, these leaders, they have started to fear, because The people who they thought they cannot do anything right now, they have come out and protest and starting to communicate with one voice. And you know, the voice of the people is the voice of the God.
Leading to Parliament, young Ugandans accuse the government of rampant corruption and human rights abuses. Police have banned all protests in the capital. Well, on the eve of these planned anti-government protests, Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine posted online saying that police had surrounded the headquarters of the National Unity Platform Party in Kampala, the opposition, blocking off roads and arresting its party members. He says the government fears the will of the people, and once their fear of the government fades, quote, they will lose their power over us. Well, Uganda's president, Yoweri Museveni, warned in a televised address on Saturday that protests will not be tolerated.
Parts of the world are starving, they are crying for hunger, and you here, you want to disturb us. You are playing with fire.
Well, let's bring in Andrew Mwenda. He's the managing director of The Independent, a news magazine based out of Uganda. He joins us now from Kampala. Andrew, when you hear that rhetoric from Museveni, warning protesters they're playing with fire, I know there's been no permits issued for these protests. How concerned are you about the government response today, especially given the deployment we've already seen on the streets?
I actually think that is more of the same. It is what I would have expected of President Museveni. I think that given the current protests in Kenya, he's very careful that if he allows such a protest to take place, it may lead to a wrong place. So it is better to prevent it from ever happening than to allow it to happen and have to bear the consequences.
Sure. You mentioned Kenya there. I've been curious about the timing of these protests. How much of this has been inspired by what's been happening over the border?
I think so. I think this protest in Uganda has been greatly inspired and it's imitating what is happening in Kenya. And even Uganda government's response itself is shaped by looking at what happened in Kenya. You see, the mobilization has been taking place for around about 1 month in Uganda, taking place on social media. So the government knew what was coming. When it looks across the border, they see that in Kenya, the government saw this movement mobilizing on social media and took no action to prevent it. And because they did not take action, they were overwhelmed by the demonstrations and the president was forced to reverse his decisions. Now in Uganda, government of Uganda is learning from Kenya and Ugandan protesters are also learning from Kenya. So they were mobilizing on social media, only that the government here, especially the president, has effective personal control of the core elements of the state, especially the armed forces. So he has deployed on every nook and cranny of the city to ensure that people don't march towards parliament. And also Ugandans know him, that when he has said don't play with fire, he means it. So very few would dare.
It's interesting the choices that the government has made in terms of their deployment, though. The police, I understand, have barricaded opposition headquarters, but Bobi Wine has also been very clear this protest movement is not being organised by the opposition, that it's a grassroots youth movement, as we saw in Kenya too. Can you explain where this came from?
I think it is government deployed at the NUP headquarters. It knows that NUP is not involved in this mobilization, but I'm sure they don't want to take chances because if you put yourself in the position of government, you would expect that NUP would want to take advantage of the situation. So the best way is to ensure that you don't take any chances, you don't allow any risks whatsoever. Remember, this is basically a military government that came to power through a protracted armed struggle. Governments like that, you see them in China, in Vietnam, in Rwanda, in Nicaragua. They have particular characteristics. They tend to fuse politics with security. They are very security sensitive, and therefore they do not give space for their opponents to organize and challenge them. It's of gravity. You can easily topple a government through an insurrection in the city.
Well, speaking of toppling a government, I mean, this is primarily supposed to be about corruption. I was looking at some of the numbers. It's $2.7 billion lost to corruption every year. I see that House Speaker has been sanctioned for corruption by the UK and the United States. Obviously, corruption is deeply entrenched in Uganda, despite government promises to fight it. We've been saying this is a youth movement. What does the youth want done differently?
Well, I think that the capacity of the government of Uganda to deliver public goods and services effectively and efficiently has been greatly compromised by gross corruption and incompetence. And people in Uganda, especially in Kampala, are frustrated. The roads are full of potholes, the drainages are blocked. Even the contracts where people are constructing roads have ground to a halt. So the city is in a mess. When Ugandan youth get angry about the incapacity of government to deliver goods and services, public goods and services, you can understand where they're coming from. The other thing is that I think the government of Uganda is armed to the teeth to always counter these protests. I personally think that if I was an advisor to government, the best way of government to do is to try to improve its own performance in order to reduce the anger of the youth. But instead, I see government arming itself to the teeth to fight. The money they're spending on the army and the police to contain riots can actually be spent on improving the quality of life in Kampala. So I get the sense that they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, we'll certainly see what happens on the streets of Kampala today. Andrew Mwenda there, the managing director of The Independent, a news magazine based out of Kampala. Thank you for joining us, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Anita must resign. 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 Anita must resign.
This is our future that we are fighting for. This is our future we are fighting for. Anita must go. You cannot say on the taxi bill that
my name is Gift Grace. Anita must resign. My name is Gift Grace. Anita must resign.
At the parliament, we are saying corruption at parliament, we don't want it. Corruption at parliament, it is at high peak. Yes, I'm here standing at the parliament. Corruption is now at high peak. Everyone is corrupt in offices, RDCs, cow district, each and everything. Everything is corrupt. I'm here demonstrating at the parliament so that Ugandans, it is our voice to come out. This is our voice.
What are your demands?
What are your demands?
And so many people, they have come out in large numbers. Also here in Kenya, we are still protesting. We are protesting each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Also Uganda, I can see you have also followed the footstep of Kenya. But for me, what I can tell you, don't fear. Even if they using some more forces to you guys, don't fear, because if you fear your nation, it will not change. If you fear, your country will not move forward, because we know in Uganda we have been having one president ruling for so long. And also we know this Museveni in Uganda, he has done some of the, I don't want to go so much deeper in the history of Uganda because I'm not Uganda, but just to tell you that today I'm so happy because the Uganda, they have now starting to see their right. For those leaders who they were saying the people that are illiterate, the people they don't know their right now, these young people who you are ignoring them, they have come out and tell you we know our rights and we want the country to change so that we can move forward. We want this corruption to stop. We want these leaders who they have stayed for long in the office to be removed so that we can also have a new leader so that our country can move forward. Because I know Uganda, it is a good country. Uganda, it has the best food in East Africa. Uganda, it has some, it is a nice country. If you guys who can fight for the change in Uganda, it will be a big country. Uganda, it will be having a good name in the East Africa. Uganda, it can be much developed in this East Africa, because we know Uganda, it is the peel of Africa. So guys, I don't want to talk too much. Kindly watch these videos of how Ugandans, they were protesting, although the police, they were using so much force. But you guys, kudos for those people who they have they know what for those people who they are standing to their right. Kudos to you. Don't stop, keep heart, and also pray to God so that you guys can succeed to whatever you have started. So guys, watch this video, and if you have not yet subscribe, and also like this video so that it can reach to a lot of people. Thank you so much. Bye bye.